Good afternoon.
Hello.
I'm Carmen Blair, the Deputy Director of the San Mateo County Historical Association, and I would like to welcome you to today's Courthouse Docket. Sponsored by Cypress Lawn Heritage Foundation, the Courthouse Docket is a series of lectures and performances held here in historic Courtroom A. Each month, we explore a different aspect of local history. To honor Women's History Month, the museum's auxiliary voted to stage a 1950s fashion show featuring clothes from the Millie Collection. This is separate from the museum's permanent collection. Museum auxiliary member Millie Hagstrom started this collection of vintage clothing in the early 1980s for use as an education collection. As many women save their good clothes or fancy party dresses rather than work clothes, the Millie Collection favors this type of clothing. As community members donated all the clothes, we do not have some of the iconic looks of certain eras. If you have a poodle skirt from the 1950s and you're willing to donate it, please see me after the show, okay? Many of the donated clothes come in small sizes, to say the least. So what is shown on any fashion show depends on what outfits our models fit into. Over the years, the Millie Collection has been used for fashion shows, plays, and anniversary celebrations. It continues to be cared for by members of the Museum Auxiliary. Today, we are going back to the 1950s. Laura Cox, one of the Auxiliary's fashion experts, selected dresses from the collection, arranged for fittings, and with the help of Hannah Milan, accessorized the outfits. Makeup is in the experienced hands of Rochelle Hopkins today, and we thank her for her help today. I will introduce the models and give you a little bit of background on the fashions they're wearing. Auxiliary member Laura Peter Hans, also wearing a dress of the 1950s, will provide commentary about that decade on the Peninsula and up in San Francisco. For our first model, we welcome Annalisa. Fashion historian Gerda Boxbaum writes in Icons of Fashion, the 20th Century, the long years of deprivation during World War II brought forth a yearning for luxury and fashionable things, and women made a special effort to dress appropriately for every occasion.
Are you okay?
It was considered imperative that one's accessories matched perfectly. Annalisa is wearing a beaded floral dress with white fur cape, beaded shoes, and a flowered netted pillbox hat with velvet bows and leaves.
Annalisa is really appropriate. Today, because she's going to be driving out to a wedding at the Roth Woodside Estate. And how lucky she is that her roommate at Stanford trusts her to drive a 1949 Chevy. Well, I want to be sure that she's safe on the way out from Stanford. She will pass Lake Lagunitas, then she will get on to the Sand Hill Road, which is narrow and winding and goes through cow pastures, where she really wants to beat on the horn a little bit, the cows may scatter. And when she gets out beyond the Kenyatta Road, she's going to be sure that she turns right into Portola Road, into the middle of Woodside. Then I recommend she either asks at a standard station, or looks in the glove compartment, because she's going to need a map to find the rest of the way. Annalisa, we wish you luck and thank you.
next model is Marlo. Marlo is wearing a black and white gingham dress with portrait collar and bow. Gingham was one of the favorite fabrics of the era. One of the styles of the 1950s was Christian Dior's New Look. First appearing in 1947, it featured the nipped-in waist and the full-skirted silhouette. It was a popular look through the mid-1950s. The dress is made of rayon, showing the continued move to synthetic fabrics. Marlo's look is completed with a black hat with a big bow and a red bag.
Marlo, I really love your dress because it brings back nostalgia for me. I understand that you have been looking for red shoes to match the purse, and that you've already exhausted the opportunities locally by going to the new Hillsdale Shopping Center and to Judd Green's and Levy Brothers in downtown San Mateo. But I hear that you're going to go off to the city, and I think that's a good idea, because you can park on Union Square, and you can probably find something at the Liberties or Macy's or My Magnus. Be sure to check out the flower stand outside of My Magnus. And be sure to go into Maiden Lane and look in the Gump's windows. There's also a nice place where you might have lunch on that Maiden Lane. And good luck on finding yourself a red purse.
Next, we welcome Carrie. Carrie is wearing a blue and beige floral cotton dress with velvet trim. A century earlier, full skirts were accomplished with undergarments with metal hoops. In the 1950s, crinolines worn under the skirt gave it the extra poof. Carrie, give us a twirl to show off that skirt. Her outfit is completed with a white handbag and a hat with blue flowers and velvet bows.
Oh my. Carrie, maybe the hat should definitely come off, because I think that maybe since you're going to be going to play mini golf, you could have worn pedal pushers. But I understand that you have a date, and that you think that maybe wearing a dress to the miniature golf course on Bayshore and Marsh Roads might give you an opportunity to show off your legs, which is just fine. And you need your date to be occupied with that rather than getting holes in one. And since you're familiar with the course, I think that you are going to do very, very well wearing a dress for that event. And even if your hat falls off, I think you'll still be going to be looking at your legs. Thank you very much for sharing this.
Our next model is Galena. She's modeling a peach lace party dress. This outfit highlights the ultra-feminine look of the 1950s. The full skirt is achieved with lace and tulle overskirt. The dress is completed with a lace bolero top and flowered net hat.
Well, it is 1952, and Galena and her date are both seniors at Sequoia High School in Redwood City, and they plan, because her date has his driver's license, to drive up to San Francisco via Highway 101 with its stoplights and its views of the mud flats all along the way. Not to mention that when she gets to South San Francisco with her date, they'll be going, a little bit westward past Brisbane, and then by the Cow Palace, and by that absolutely stinking glue factory that always is emitting odors along the highway. And they'll be very relieved when they finally get into San Francisco itself. After they find a place to park on Nob Hill, they plan to stroll through the lobbies of the Fairmont Hotel and the St. Francis and look at all the splendor there. But then, her date is going to surprise her because they're going to go to the Tonga room. The basement, the Tonga room, and they are going to practice their jitterbug, their rumba, and the samba. What a night she has waiting for her. Thank you very much.
Next, we welcome Hannah.
Junior Paul and Birdsmith.
Hannah is wearing a sage green cotton dress with a full skirt. This new look style is sometimes referred to in today's fashion as the fit and flare look. The short sleeves and eyelet lace details mark it as a summer dress, complemented by gloves and a flower hat.
Well, I think that's a very perfect outfit to be wearing to the grand opening of the Bay Meadows season. I'm only worried a little bit about the sunburn when you go to the paddock and when you go to the rail to check out which horse you feel you should bid on that day. It's going to be a great day for you. And I'm wondering whether you are familiar with any of the horses, whether you also go to Tampa, or whether you just go exclusively to Bay Meadows. You have a choice, you know, in the Bay Area. Well, I wonder if you found the perfect horse, whether you're going to bid when, place, or show. Whichever it is, I wish you the best of luck. Thank you very much.
Is it on?
Our next model is Mariah.
I'm sorry?
Where'd you go with her dress?
I can't go somewhere in the phone.
Mariah is wearing a green and black net dress. The new look outfit features a cinched waist and full skirt over taffeta. Notice this dress is not floor length. Coined by Christian Dior, the term cocktail dress indicated that the outfit was more the length of a day dress, but embellished like evening wear. And this shorter or higher hemline also allows you to see her beautiful shoes with green to match the dress. And of course, pearls.
Oh, yes.
And what a find those shoes were for her to wear that fit, that matched so perfectly for a big outing, because it's a Sweet 16 outing celebration, and she is going to be going with friends of hers and her family to the Circle Star Theater for a special show. Well, that's pretty important to her, but one other thing, when you turn Sweet 16, you get to have a driver's license. And so that's probably maybe even more important than going to Circle Star's theater. Well, her dad took her out. He wanted to be sure that she was going to be secure if she borrowed a family car. So he took her to the station, the gasoline station, and showed her how to pump gas, how to check the water, how to check the oil. Of course, most of those things are done by an attendant. In the 1950s, as we are living in the 1950s, you got all of that wonderful service. But her father wanted to be sure that if she was out and anything happened, she could, in a small town, she'd know what to do. So that was a good thing for her dad to do for her. But I think that she is appropriately dressed for the Circle Star Theater. Thank you very much.
Next, we welcome back Carrie. Well, California is known for its beautiful weather. It can get cool. Carrie is wearing a fur coat and fur hat, one of the many fur coats in the Millie Collection. Today, fur is seldom worn in this area, but it had a huge place in fashion history. Over the years, we have had many people donate furs to the Millie Collection. They or their children or grandchildren no longer feel it is appropriate to wear fur coats, hats, and wraps. However, as they were expensive when they were purchased, people cannot bring themselves to just toss them or donate them to Goodwill. Carrie might be on her way to a daytime event at Rose Court, the home of Helen Cameron, who hosted the Duke and Duchess of Windsor in the late 1950s. The former King of England was paid an undisclosed sum by Mrs. Cameron for consenting to be her guest. Thank you, Carrie. Our next fur model is Galena. She is wearing a white coat and beige fur hat. Fur was popular in the 50s, but it was often used minimally for things such as jacket cuffs, or in this example, along the collar. White was a popular color throughout the decade. With white gloves and a white clutch, she is on her way to a social event at the Burlingame Country Club. In 1955, the club moved into its new clubhouse, located inside New Place, the former home of banker William H. Crocker. He was the son of Transcontinental Railroad builder Charles Crocker. William and his wife Ethel had been leaders of Peninsula society, so it was appropriate that their home and estate was the headquarters of the club. Thank you. Next, we welcome Tanya. Tanya is splendidly dressed in a cream brocade evening dress. I've talked quite a bit about the new look, but it was not the only look of the era. Fashion curator Daniel Milford Cotton writes in Fashion of the 1950s, "One particularly striking aspect of the decade was the emergence of stylish options. Two ladies could walk down the street in different outfits, yet appear equally modish, be their skirts full or narrow, or one in a form-fitting sheath and the other in a loose sack dress." Continuing our fur theme, Tanya has a wrap made of black fox. Wraps came in two different forms. We affectionately call them fur without faces and fur with faces. Tanya is wearing a wrap with faces and claws. She is on her way to an elegant dinner in Hillsborough, where talk in the 50s surely included gossip on the Soviet Prime Minister taking over the former home of Rudolf Spreckels during a United Nations gathering in San Francisco. Leading diplomats from around the world gathered at the at the Hillsborough Estate. Thank you, Tanya. Our next model is Anya. Anya is wearing a day dress. The dress is a green chiffon with velvet flowers over a green taffeta underdress. The late 1950s saw the introduction of polyester chiffon. She accessorizes with a black velvet hat, black handbags, and pearls, of course.
Well, Anya is going to create a sensation as she walks from her Hayward Park home through Central Park, by the Rose Garden, by the Redwood Forest, by the wonderful children's playground with all the equipment that children love because it's all a little bit dangerous, which in the 1950s we all enjoyed. And then she also might see a little bit of action in the ballpark or in the clubhouse there, the old clubhouse. And the Japanese garden is under construction, but her destination is the Ben Franklin Hotel, where she's going to go to a friend's birthday party. But it's not only the birthday party of a friend, but it's also the 25th anniversary of the Benjamin Franklin Hotel. So it's a double Third Avenue thing happening that she's going to be attending. And I think she's going to create a lot of attention when she goes through the Central Park. That's for sure. What an outfit that is. Thank you.
Next, we welcome back Annalisa.
Oh my.
Annalisa is wearing an ultra-feminine brown tulle dress with gold embroidered leaves. A unique feature of this dress is the tulle wrap with arm accent. She accessorizes her ball gown with elbow-length white gloves and a clutch for necessities such as lipstick to refresh her look, and in her nice gold handbag.
Oh my goodness. Well, this is Anna, our Stanfordite, returning again. And she has been invited by her friend Tom to go to the senior prom. Well, this is a big deal. And this senior prom, this dress is definitely going to be appropriate for that. But her friend Tom has heard about a great place in Belmont called the Prime Rib, where one can eat as much prime rib as one wishes in one evening. And he is sick and tired of dorm food after 4 years, and he would like to be able to really luxuriate and spend a little extra money on the two of them to go there. And after that, they will go back on El Camino to the Stanford Senior Prom, which is being held, of all things, in the men's gym. As after all, it's a basketball court, and there's enough room for a lot of dancing. The thing about the dress that she's wearing is she can turn this into a strapless dress by removing all this poof-poof. And I think we'll have a lot more fun. Now, you realize there's no alcohol on campus, so her friend Tom has a few connections out in Palo Alto where they might come go since they're both of, she's close to 21. He's definitely 21. Maybe her birthday is soon in the future a little bit, but they plan to have something a little bit more substantial, let's say, after the prom itself with a bunch of their friends. So thank you, Anna, and do be careful.
features a full skirt complemented by a peach pillbox hat, a large handbag, and silver shoes.
What a striking outfit for a day in the city. Mariah and her mother are all dressed up because it's Saturday and they're going to go and have a whole big day in San Francisco. And I have heard that they plan to drive up along Skyline and all the way up to the Cliff House. Then they're going to go along and see the views of Golden Gate, and they're going to Fort Point, and then they're going to make their way all the way to Fisherman's Wharf for lunch. And if that's not good enough, they're going to do a lot of sightseeing in the city, and I think they're going to create a lot of attention. If her mother's dressed the way she is, they may be stopping traffic. But then they plan to go to the top of the Mark and meet some friends to have dinner. So what a day they're going to have. And don't you think that she's dressed appropriately for it? Yeah. Thank you very much, Mariah.
Our next model is Carrie. As I mentioned earlier, not all fashion was the new look full skirt. In daytime wear, the straight pencil skirt became more and more popular as the decade progresses. Think Marilyn Monroe. In evening wear, we have Carrie in this blue-green evening dress. While the dress is very fitted for most of the length, we do refer to this as the mermaid dress for the flare at the bottom of the dress. Her outfit is paired with silver shoes and a silver bag, and long gloves.
Oh my. Carrie and her girlfriend and their dates are going to have a wonderful evening. They're double dating, and they are going to go, first of all, they're going to journey south from San Carlos, and they're going to go down to the L'Omelette on El Camino. Oh, they want to be able to use their beautiful clothes again, the two girls do. Because what is it to get it for a prom, and it goes in your cupboard, and you don't wear it enough. So they're going to really get dressed up. They're going to tell their dates to get dressed up too. So off they go to L'Omelette, where there's usually a chanteuse and absolutely wonderful French food. And after that, they're going to double date to a double header at the Guild Theater. And if that's not enough, they really want to mix things up a bit. So afterwards, their plan is to say to the guys, let's go and have some ice cream at the parlor in Santa Cruz, because they've got a jukebox there, and we can dance also. So we eat, we work our eyes to death in the theater, and then we get ice cream and we get to dance. So what a nice evening they're going to have. Thank you very much.
Our next model is Lena. She is wearing a silk chiffon dress with floral design. The length of a day dress, this cocktail dress is intended for gatherings and events held in the early evening hours. She accessorizes with the pink beehive hat and beaded white heels.
Helena, I'm amazed to see you in that outfit, because just a few minutes ago we were at your neighbor's house and you were watching the latest black and white TV. It was going flick, flick, flick. But maybe you had enough of that, and your neighbor's parents said, why don't you go home and get changed? I would like you to come with us to a special place that we have found. It's in San Mateo, the southern part of San Mateo. It's called the Villa Chartier, and there is a place there called the Polynesian Room. Well, what a change artist you are. That is perfect for the Polynesian Room. Absolutely perfect. Thank you very much, Galena.
Next, we welcome back Hannah.
Fabric.
Hannah is wearing a floral sundress with a bow detail in the back. While the word sundress was first used in the early 1940s, they came in vogue in the 50s. While sundresses were often T-length during this era, they could also be a full-length dress, such as Hannah is wearing. As it is the 50s, she is wearing gloves and a matching hat and carrying a clutch.
Oh my goodness, I have heard that this is a dress that she plans to wear for a picnic. My goodness, I am perplexed about where in San Mateo County it would be safe for her to go with this dress that could have been shorter, but it's long. I wonder if the people who are watching her have any idea of a place that might be safe for her to go to have a picnic. It must be a fancy picnic with some friends. Does anybody have a suggestion for us about where we should indicate she should go?
Filoli.
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 Filoli. Well, I think that's a private estate at the moment. That's a little bit, maybe
She has friends
is there
there.
an outside restaurant that might welcome, maybe they could change her mind. Is there a good place where she could go where they could just forget about the picnic and just go and be able to sit outside with such a beautiful spring flowery dress? Do we have any restaurants outside these days? I think we're at a loss.
But it is a beautiful dress.
Well, I guess there's no ideas for her. Anybody out there have an idea? I think if you go to Central Park or any of the parks, maybe if you put down some towels on the benches, then it would be possible. Yeah, there are a few places you can go. Maybe Boston Park, Boston Avenue, Belmont. Oh, maybe on the College of Notre Dame. That might be a good spot for a picnic. I think that would be my #1 choice. That just came to me right now. May I go with you to the picnic? Okay, thank you. I'd like to do that.
Our final model is Marlo. At first glance, you see the green full-length cape with lace detailing. In the later 1950s, designers replaced the jacket with all types of capes. Now, I am going to ask Marlo to remove the cape so we can see her evening dress. She is wearing a stunning ball gown with a black bodice with white trim and white skirt with an accent black velvet bow at the waist. With the colors of her dress, Marlo could be on her way to the Black and White Ball in San Francisco. The annual event with a traditional midnight surprise started in 1956. A fundraiser for the San Francisco Symphony, the ball is the Bay Area's largest street party, a night for high society, and just everybody, to mingle in gowns and tuxedos around the Civic Center Plaza and listen to music. I think you will enjoy hearing that music. At this point, I would like to invite out all of our models. Come out and join us. All of our models, come on out. Let's see those dresses together. for joining us today as we went back into the 1950s. I hope you join us for our next Courthouse Docket, which will be Saturday, May the 20th, when we will have an author with us to talk about freedom to discriminate. So talking about housing issues here in the Bay Area. Thank you so much for joining us, and I hope to see you again here at the Courthouse.